everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Georgia and I'm mainly reviewing fragrances for men and women. Today I'm going to talk about a jewelry house which creates also fragrances, which pretty much nobody talks about, or very few people talks about. And I think it's really interesting to know about this company. And without further ado, I present to you Mauboussin. And the fragrance is Elixir pour Elle. Yes, it is a woman-intended fragrance. And this is how this fragrance looks like. Of course, I've been trying it for a while, but I just found time and the space for it today. But I'm going to talk about this later. I'm going to present to you this fragrance later because I think it's more important to know a couple things about Mauboussin. Mauboussin is a French high-end jewelry company founded in 1827 by M. Rocher and J. Nourry. I apologize in advance. I'm going to butcher a couple of names, but I don't speak French, so I'm doing my best here. Mauboussin became one of the most exquisite jewelry houses, of course, in Europe. A lot of people know about it. They were famous because they actually intended exhibits and they were dedicated to a certain gem. Like, for example, they had an exhibit only for diamonds. Then they had another exhibit dedicated only for rubies. So all the jewelry was made out of rubies and gold, of course. Then they had another exhibit dedicated to, emeralds. So basically everything was green. Emeralds, of course. So that was unique about them. Now, in the 40s, during the war, where, you didn't really find gold, they also experimented with other metals and they created this fashion jewelry. So they adapted to the situation. They also introduced in the 80s, 1980, a line of high-end watches, of course, made with jewelry, made with precious stones and stuff like that. And fast forward in the year 2000, they came up with the first fragrance intended for women, which was, of course, named Mauboussin for women, or for her. Now, this is how they started creating also a fragrance line, and they expanded all over the world. Of course, they opened shops all over the major cities, major big cities of the world. And nowadays, they are part of the big 5 jewelry companies in the world. And they are regarded or considered as the French equivalent of Tiffany's. Of course, everybody knows about Tiffany's, but pretty much nobody knows about Mauboussin, which is pretty much the same equivalent with Tiffany's. Is the French equivalent with Tiffany's. So this is Mauboussin. But back to this fragrance. Mauboussin Elixir pour Elle, or for her, Eau de Parfum, for women, introduced in 2015. It is an oriental vanilla fragrance. The nose behind this fragrance is Catherine Dubreuil or Dubroil Sereni. I apologize, but again, I don't speak French and I might butcher stuff in the process. It is what it is. The notes in this fragrance are as follow. In the top we have orange, blackcurrant, and pink pepper. In the middle we have jasmine, iris, and rose. And in the base we have praline, vanille, and agarwood or wood. Now, this fragrance, and here's where it starts to become interesting. At the first sniff, it reminded me of something that I knew, and I smelled all over the place at one point, and it's very popular. And this fragrance reminds me, and it's very similar to La Vie est Belle by Lancôme, the original one. So the very first La Vie est Belle smells like this. Mauboussin Elixir pour Elle. So if you're looking for a cheaper fragrance, but not cheap as far as, you know, it's really, it smells really good. Quality, not, it's a good quality, but cheap as far as the price. Because La Vie Belle is sky high right now as far as the prices go. Go for this one. Mauboussin Elixir pour Elle. You're not going to regret it. It is about 93%, maybe 95% similar to La Vie Belle. The only difference between this one and La Vie Belle is the pepper note, which is prominent in this one. I even looked up La Vie Belle and the notes in La Vie Belle. In probably 80% of the notes in La Vie Belle, you find in this one as well. Now, I don't know if it was intended to copy La Vie Belle, because it's almost a dupe. So you can easily call it a dupe. It's not 100% dupe, but you know, it's a 92% dupe. So this cleared out of the way. Don't buy La Vie Belle, buy Mauboussin Elixir pour Elle. It has even a nicer bottle. Of course, you can carry this in a purse, or you could carry it in a purse and use it as a weapon. Just saying. But it's a really nice bottle. Really nice bottle. Interesting, unique bottle. Now let's see how this smells. Now it has this rose peppery note, like I said before. It is a classic fragrance, a classic scent, a classic perfume. It is a compliment getter. It's an elegant fragrance. For cool weather. Fall. That'll be the best weather or best time of the year to wear this fragrance. You know, when everything turns orange and yellow, or if you go trick-or-treating, or if you celebrate Thanksgiving, or whatever you're celebrating in the fall, wear this one. You're not going to regret it. It doesn't work too much in a hot weather. That's why I'm recommending this in the fall and in the winter time too. It works in the winter time too because of the vanilla scent, and it has a prominent vanilla scent, which is aromatic in this case. So it has this blend between rose, vanilla. It does have something of patchouli in it, but the patchouli note is not listed. The wood note or oud note is very light, so I don't even think it has real oud in it. However, it's there in the notes. This gives me a vibe of a classy woman, really nice fragrance. Not a joyful fragrance, not a playful fragrance. It's more like a mature fragrance, in my opinion. Now, whoever likes La Vie Belle will love this one. If you don't like La Vie Belle, stay away from this one. It is more like a mainstream fragrance. I mean, a crowd pleaser fragrance. Of course, this is all in my opinion. I do not own La Vie Belle, but I know how it smells like. Of course, I tried it in the stores. I wouldn't buy La Vie Belle. I bought this one by accident, or by, let's just say it was a blind buy, because I liked the praline note and I was expecting something gourmand. It is sweet, but it's not a gourmand fragrance. It is a nice blend between vanilla, floral notes, the rose shows there too, but it's more toned down, probably by the iris. The jasmine shows there, but it's blended really good with the rose and everything else. And of course, the vanilla note is the one that pops up. So it's a cozy fragrance. It is a cozy, elegant fragrance. More for mature women, in my opinion. 40 and up. That's what I think. I wouldn't wear this as a teenager. Not really. And again, cold weather. It's somewhat sweet, but it's not too sweet. So, aromatic, peppery, rosy. Really nice blend. Blackcurrant is there too. You can feel it in the notes. It's persisting throughout its wear. It has a really nice dry down. It's an aromatic dry down. It's a sweet-ish dry down, like a caramel dry down, something like that, mixed with the vanilla. And it has a woody note, but it's more like a toned down note. So it's more aromatic than woody. Like I said, a very nice fragrance to have in your collection. Of course, if you do not afford La Vie Belle, go for this one. I guarantee you're gonna love it. This is Mauboussin Elixir pour Elle. My name is Georgia. Thank you so very much for watching, and see you in my next one.